increased scientific research and increased scientific funding. We also know that on the federal level, only 1 in 10 scientific grants are actually funded. That means we are leaving 9 potential projects on the table. They don't have the money, they don't have the support, which directly means they don't have the morale and they don't have the attitude to move forward. We have to change that. To think that our society and our country only funds 1 in 10 great young scientists and their great ideas in an issue that is so devastating, that is also a disparity. Also, we have to focus on survivorship. We know that today in America there's 12 million cancer survivors living in the United States. We know that we also have issues. You have professional issues, you have personal issues, emotional issues, issues of fertility. All of these issues come into play. The thing about survivorship is that a cancer survivor deserves the same quality of life that they had before their disease and their diagnosis. I would even argue that they might even deserve a better and a higher quality of life after their diagnosis. And then finally, if we are not successful in somebody's fight and they are not going to make it, they deserve to die with dignity and pride, pain-free, surrounded by loved ones, and going on to the next place and knowing that they tried everything that they could, and that, again, that they are truly at peace. Now, we want to avoid that. And how do we avoid that? We address all of those issues of the cancer continuum. How do we do that? It starts with leadership. And it starts in a state like Ohio. As you all know, we're in the middle of one hell of a race for president. Very interesting. It feels like it's the Super Bowl just continued, but amped up by about 10. There is a lot on the line. I think we all understand that there's a lot on the line for our society. But once we finally have 2 final candidates, we as cancer survivors and we as concerned citizens have to make sure that this disease is a priority. You know, a few years ago, somebody came up with this incredibly crazy idea to make a yellow wristband. And we all laughed, just like you're laughing right now. And we really laughed. I mean, they gave us 5 million yellow wristbands, and we thought they were absolutely crazy. We thought nobody would buy this, nobody would support this, nobody would wear this. We immediately went through 5 million, and we immediately went through 10, 20, 40, 60. Now we are north of 70 million yellow wristbands. All this. All because people believed in a cause, they believed in an issue, they believed in that color, they believed in that brand, and they believed that by spending $1, they could affect change. This wasn't a $1 million grant or a $1 million donation or a building being named after you. No, they could participate in a cause and in a movement for $1. And with that, we were able to put together a group of people, 70 million of them, that stood up for something. Now, if we just took a small percentage of those people, let's just say we took 5% of those people, it could even be less. 5% gives us 3.5 million people, and they say, this is my issue. Some people might say that defense is my issue. Some people might say education. Some people might say immigration. They might say a lot of things. My right to carry a gun. If I'm a woman, my right to choose. They could say a lot of issues that are their main issue in this race. But if we just took a small percentage of those people and they said, this is my issue. I demand change. I want to see change happen in my lifetime. I want to see annual deaths be cut in half in my lifetime at least. That's 3.5 million people. 3.5 million votes. Believe me, any presidential candidate that knows you have 3.5 million people willing to vote, left or right, based on that issue, they will pay attention. So that is the beauty and the essence of LiveStrong Day. 600 events all around the country. It could be an event like this. It could be a bike ride. It could be, as the doctor said, it could be wear yellow, anything. It's simply a grassroots effort where people come together and they mobilize and they remind our leaders on a very small level. Believe me, none of the candidates I don't think are watching us right now. But this will spin, and this flywheel will continue. And when we have the LiveStrong Summit right here in Columbus, Ohio this summer, and the candidates are here to discuss their issue, yes. Speaking of that, I must thank Senator McCain for already agreeing to come here in late July to discuss his cancer experience, to discuss his cancer policy, to lay out a plan under his administration. We have to give credit where credit is due, and I thank him for that. Senator Obama and Senator Clinton I've both spoken to. They are obviously busy right now, but I fully expect that either one of those candidates will be here. Senator Obama, having lost his mother to this disease at a very young age. Imagine if you're Senator Barack Obama and you win this election and you're sworn in as the 44th President of the United States of America. How would you? You got some Obama fans. I can tell you, if I was the 44th President of the United States of America, the only person I would care to be there would be my mother. And so I know that this is an issue for him. I also know that this is an issue for Senator Clinton. So we will have the future President of the United States in this city discussing this issue. I promise you that. That's really all I have. I was educated a little bit on what was the guy's name? The kid? Yeah, oh, great. So, since you got Terrell Pryor, I can look forward to a lot more years of bad tailgate parties. I don't know about that. We'll see. Huh? Go for 8. No, thank you. I'm an old guy now. Somebody asked me yesterday. They said, "Do you ever want to be involved in anything competitive?" And I said, listen. What do you think this is? This is a competitive issue. This is something where we may not have a finish line like we have in a bike ride or a bike race or a triathlon or a running race or a marathon, whatever. This is a competitive issue. The saving of American lives and the diminishing of this epidemic on our society, to me, is a competitive issue. So thank you for letting me be competitive, and thank you for letting me just have a small voice and a small part.